PFL rules and regulations for 2022. Hybrid football, 7 versus 7. Article 2. Field timing, possessions, and scoring. Section 1. Field dimensions. The field of play is 50 yards long with two 10-yard end zones totaling 70 yards in length. 70 yards in length. The field is 35 yards wide. The midline field at the 25-yard line is to gain a first down. So one first down in the middle of the field, 25 yards away from the touchdown. Safeties occur within the end zones. Punts may be chosen on fourth down. The defense receives the ball at the 5-yard line if chosen to punt the ball. Time is stopped once the offense calls for a punt. To prevent power football in tight spaces, no run zones are located 5 yards before the end zones and on each side of the midfield first down line. So no runs are allowed 5 yards away from the end zone and also 5 yards away from the first down lines. If the ball is spotted on or inside the no-run zone, the offense must use a pass play to get a first down or a touchdown. Section 2, timing. Games will start at scheduled start time, 1 to 2 minute half times, 2 to 4 minutes between each game. Teams must have at least 6 players to play. If a team has 6 to start time and are waiting for a 7th, the play clock will begin. The offense is allowed to call 2 consecutive timeouts to allow time for their players to arrive. Coin toss. The head referee will gather captains for coin toss prior to scheduled game start time. Section 3, game time. So the play clock. Play clock is 30 seconds play clock, which begins as soon as the new play begins. Once touchdown is scored, play clock starts immediately. Offense is given a start of going for 1 PAT or a 2-point PAT and set their team on the 5-yard line or the 10-yard line and snap before the play clock hits 0. The play clock may pause for referee conference. So then game clock. 2 8-minute halves are going to be for the conference matches. 9-minute halves for the playoffs and 10-minute halves for the elite championship match. So 8 to 10-minute halves. 1 minute warning with the pro clock in the first and second half. The game clock is running until the end of each possession or offensive drive. End of a PAT, turnover, which is a fumble or an interception. The clock is paused for penalties for the referee's time, which will be used at the end of each offensive drive and for each penalty. Expect minimal delays during referee time. At the end of each possession, the referee officials will start the new drive 30 seconds to 1 minute afterwards. Delay of game called on offense if not ready to snap the ball. 1 minute warnings. Upon 1 minute warning for each half, the play clock will stop. Teams will be provided up to 1 minute break. Prior to a 1 minute warning, the PFL game clock will stop only when or for a possession change, a touchdown, a team uses a timeout, referees times. At the 1 minute warning in the first and second half, the prime clock will be implemented. The official prime clock will be in effect at the 1 minute warning of each half. The prime clock. The official prime clock will be in effect at the 1 minute warning of each half. The clock will then also stop for when a team uses a timeout, after a touchdown is scored, an incomplete pass, a runner going out of bounds after a legal forward pass or a legal lateral, defensive penalties excluding offsides, rest time, and also a possession change. Timeouts. Each team is awarded 2 timeouts per half. Timeout durations are 30 seconds to 1 minute. The play clock will begin as soon as the timeout has expired. the referees will use a timeout for injuries on the field. However, the refs may charge the injured player's team a timeout if they feel the player is exaggerating the injury. Section 5, Overtime. Overtime period is 5 minutes with a 1-minute warning. If a game is tied at the end of a regulation, the teams will enter an overtime period until a team wins. At the start of only one overtime for a conference match. Playoffs will be multiple overtimes until a team wins. At the start of overtime period, officials will perform a coin toss with team captains. Offense starts their possession at the 5-yard line. Each team is provided one possession each to score a touchdown. If it's a tie at the end of each of the team's first possessions into the next score will win. Then the next score will win. First down conversion provides offense with a set of 4 downs. If a touchdown is scored, the offense must attempt a 1 PAT or a 2 PAT. Following the first team's possession, if both teams are again tied at the end of overtime in a playoff game, then there will be another overtime period with the same rules. Non-playoff matches will be entitled to 1 OT. OT period is 5 minutes with a 1-minute warning. Section 6, Scoring. Touchdowns are worth 6 points. Safeties are worth 2 points. Returned interception on a conversion attempt, 2 points. PAT, 1 point conversion from the 5-yard line, 2 point conversion from the 10-yard line. In the case of a 35-point differential, the referees may call for the mercy rule provided the score differential is 35 points or more. Every game starts with a coin toss. Section 7, Possession. There are no kickoffs. The team that receives at first half will start the second half on defense. No kickoffs. Offenses begin with the ball at the 5-yard line to start a drive at the beginning of the game. Start of the second half after punts and PATs. The only exception is not starting at the 5-yard line is if the opposing team goes for it on the 4th down and is unsuccessful. Then the defense takes over at the spot of the down. An offense has a set of 4 downs to cross the midfield first down marker, which is the 25-yard line. Another set of 4 downs after the first down marker. On 4th down, offense has an option to punt the ball, which is an automatic start at the 5-yard line for the opposing team. Stripping the ball from the QB or the ball carrier is allowed. Spotting the ball. During a hurry-up play, game officials are expected to move with the pace of the game. They are to do their best not to interrupt the pace of the play while still effectively doing their job. The ball is spotted at the furthest distance the football traveled, not the body. Either team can substitute at a dead ball. Subs must enter the game from the designated sideline. Players are expected to notify officials when subbing in. Defense is responsible to get their players onto the field before the offense snaps the ball. No exceptions. 5-yard penalty if unable to. If a team has more than 7 players on the field after the snap, the team will be penalized 10 yards and affected down due to unsportsmanlike conduct on the team. Section 10, the game forfeit. A scheduled game will be ruled a forfeit if a team does not show for their game or if a team does not have enough players to comply with the minimum amount of players to play, which is 6 players. A team may use their second timeout, 2 timeouts consecutively to buy time, 1 minute each with a 25-second play clock in between. Forfeited game scores will be 21-0.